never made it, but I know what it takes. I'm motivated by a mix of emotion. Got my statement, and I'm reading it slow so I can understand it fully. Appreciate my standing, go out of this world and right on time. Oh, never in my life have I seen the sky light up like this. I'm far away from Earth and I wanna know if you exist. Mission control, do you read me? Send me my coordinates lately. Mission control, am I drifting? Tie me to someone who will love me, yeah. Wait, I think I'll last a bit longer, fine.
Welcome everyone, welcome everyone, welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd Family a part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. It is a Friday, so happy weekend to everybody out there, and I hope you start your Friday night off the right way by coming on out tonight to the historic Landmark Arena at 4246 Level Grove Road, Cornelia, Georgia. Doors open at 7 o'clock. Bell time will be 8 o'clock for another great night of wrestling action with NCW. Follow them on Facebook at National Championship Wrestling. So hopefully I will see a lot of you tonight at 4246 Level Grove Road, Cornelia, Georgia for National Championship Wrestling. But if you watched yesterday's video, you know I talked about how most fans are illogical and don't think straight and say stupid stuff, and then when you calm down a day or two later you realize how stupid you sounded. But as long as we don't become negative Nancy's, we're okay. I know there's no danger in me being like that because I'm a positive person in general. I'm just by nature a positive person, a positive thinker. I don't allow myself to think negative, and I don't allow myself to hang out with people who are negative people, because that kind of thing can rub off on you, and the next thing you know, you're being negative all the time because that's how your friend is. People are negative, I don't hang out with them. But every fan base has those negative Nancy's, and those are the kind of people that as long as their team is winning, you don't hear from them. If you do, instead of them enjoying the win, they're pointing out all the things that went wrong. But as soon as their team has a bad season, they want to go tell everybody, I saw it coming. I told all my friends it was coming. Our reign's coming to an end. Our days of winning are over with. And if you're that way, don't watch sports, because the point of sports is to have fun. The point of sports is for the sport to bring you joy and give you an escape from the real world. I mean, let's look at it. Florida just had a quarterback that got arrested. That's bad. I talked about it earlier this year here on the channel that Clemson got a defensive player that lost a younger sister to brain cancer. That's bad. Those kind of things are bad. But your team losing a game should not be bad. I can tell you as a Clemson fan, whether Clemson goes 12-0 or 7-5, watching my favorite team play, whether it's baseball, basketball, or football, brings me fun. It brings me joy. It's an escape from the real world. I'd a whole lot rather watch my team lose a football game than think about what's going on in the real world. So if you're a negative Nancy and all you want to do all the time is talk about your team losing, and you would rather your team lose so you can prove yourself to be right than your team win, just stop watching sports, because that's not what sports is about. Sports are supposed to bring you joy, and they're supposed to be fun. And if it doesn't bring you joy, just stop watching it. But the College Football Playoff Committee announced yesterday that starting in 2024, the college football playoff field will expand to 12 teams. But it got me to thinking, and I've mentioned this numerous times throughout the year here on the channel, that until they set a criteria for how you get in the playoffs, it's not a playoff, it's an invitational. That's what it is. You can try to say whatever you want to say, but the fact is, it's an invitational. Nobody liked the old BCS system because the BCS system was the AP poll and a combination of the computer poll. So everybody complained saying it was a human element and it was too much of a human element. Well, the reality of it is we still have a human element. We have 13 people that sit together in a room and give their opinion on who should be in the playoff. Well, when it's people giving you an opinion on who should be in the playoffs, it's not a playoff, it's an invitational. You look at any other sport, whether it's the NFL, whether it's basketball, whether it's college basketball, whether it's Major League Baseball, there is some kind of criteria as to how you reach the playoffs. In college football, there's not. So until they set some kind of criteria on what you have to do to get in, it's not a playoff, it's an invitational. That's what it is. Well, let's talk about all the championship games coming up this weekend in the world of college football. Tonight, we have a rematch from the regular season in the Pac-12 championship game. Of course, it's Utah and USC. They played in the regular season, and Utah beat them by 1 point. So let's hope tonight's game is just as competitive. And of course, USC wants to win because if they win, they will be in the college football invitational this year. No matter what the score is, if they win, they're in. And then coming up tomorrow, we've got a slew of championship games. There's actually also a few lower tier teams playing that's not a championship game, but we're not going to talk about those, only the championship games. Starting at noon tomorrow, we have Kansas State Wildcats and the TCU Horned Frogs, which is also a rematch from the regular season. That is the Big 12 championship game. It'll be on ABC at noon. Of course, everybody in the Big 12 plays each other during the regular season. So no matter who you play in the championship game, it's a rematch from the regular season. 3:30 tomorrow is the Sun Belt Championship when the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers take on the Troy Trojans, and that game is on ESPN. 4 o'clock tomorrow, we have the AAC Championship with the Central Florida Golden Knights taking on the Tulane Green Wave. Speaking of Tulane, earlier this week on Tuesday, it was announced that Willie Fritz would be the new Georgia Tech head coach. And then Tuesday night, word came out that he will not be the new Georgia Tech head coach. Instead, they made their interim coach their permanent coach. Well, word going around is Willie Fritz had agreed to become their coach. But since Tulane is playing in their conference championship game, Willie Fritz told Georgia Tech, hey, I'll take the job, but let me coach my team in the conference championship game. And Georgia Tech said, no, never mind, we don't want you. So if that's true and that's the case, and Georgia Tech passed on him only because he wanted to coach his team in the conference championship game, then Georgia Tech is flat out stupid. Also, 4 o'clock tomorrow, we have the SEC championship game. Of course, it'll be on CBS when LSU takes on Georgia. And then 4 o'clock on Fox, we have Fresno State and Boise State. And then tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, we have, of course, the only game that matters because it involves the Clemson Tigers. That is the ACC championship game on ABC when Clemson takes on North Carolina. But also, 8 o'clock tomorrow night on Fox is the Big Ten championship game when the Purdue Boilermakers take on the Michigan Wolverines. And it's kind of hard to call Purdue or Purdue this year when they're actually playing in the Big Ten championship game. And I hope that game is close. I hope that game is competitive. But I think Michigan wins it pretty easily. There's also a rumor going around that started last night. It has not been confirmed yet, but it's going around that Michigan quarterback Cade McNamara, who lost his job earlier this year to current quarterback J.J. McCarthy, has announced he is transferring to Iowa. Now, I do know for sure he's transferring, but I cannot confirm yet he's going to Iowa, but that is the rumor anyway, so maybe sometime before the weekend's over with, that rumor will either be confirmed or denied, but rumor is Cade McNamara is transferring from Michigan to Iowa to become Iowa's quarterback in the 2023 football season. Any thoughts on any of the championship games tonight or tomorrow? Please feel free to let me know. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. Why shouldn't you tell secrets in a cornfield? Too many ears. And that wraps it up for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.